Hey, we're in for We Called It. We are going to be talking about all the exciting free agency moves that have been going on. There have been some really good ones, some really bad ones. Aaron Rodgers is on the move, as many people know now. We're going to break it all down, give our opinions, let you know who went up fantasy-wise, maybe draft betting-wise, win total, Super Bowl odds, who went down. Before all of that, though, I mentioned last time that we are going to be calling out news reports that we think are kind of shady. And here is one I saw today. It's not football related, but you're going to laugh. It is from March Madness, an advertisement from ESPN. And here it is. The pictures, take a look at it. It says 23%, one seed to be upset. And at first look, you're over here thinking, Purdue, 23% of people have them losing in the first round. Of course, like most shady operators, they put in the little, what's it called, the footnote. Oh, it's by the Sweet 16. Absolutely shady. I hate it. Connor is here alongside me. Connor, when you see stuff like this, does it just aggravate you as much as it aggravates me?
No, it's just marketing, Phil. It's just marketing. I mean,
disingenuous, because it is
just. There are things that bother me this much. This is not one of them. It is stupid, but I also just go in there and I click on it and I go, huh. All right, that's dumb. And then I move on, Phil.
Yeah, that's because you're smart and you actually, like you said, you click it and you read the note. You go, oh, that's stupid. It doesn't mean anything. But there's so many people out there.
Listen,
we're
in March Madness, and I also had Virginia in the Elite Eight, and they just lost. Arizona. They just lost. Also I think I had them in my Final Four. So, oh well. I'm also don't follow college basketball like I do fantasy football or NFL football. So, nah. Next.
It's false statisticking, and as someone who uses statistics, you can't do this. This would get me in trouble at my job if I did.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong.
Don't get me started on what's right and what's wrong when it comes to statistics.
Well, technically, they're not wrong. They wouldn't have put it out there.
If you have to put technically and a footnote in what you're saying, you're doing something wrong. Period.
Gray area.
Not
wrong.
Gray area. Period. Huh. Exclamation point.
It's disingenuous. It's clickbaity. It's not necessarily lying.
The fact that you have to say not necessarily means it's a problem.
There's no period at the end of first.
You know what? So this is like Sarah being like, hey, Phil, I know you were doing it. Did you sleep with another woman? And I go, no, I didn't. When in actuality, maybe what had happened was I did something wrong. I just didn't actually spend the night with that person.
Phil, that was a reach, buddy. That
is not a reach. That is what these things are. It drives me crazy.
All right, make sure we tag that. Make sure we tag that when we post this. I'll be happy.
I will 100% tag that.
Okay.
That's the analogy I use. It's
cheating on your wife? Question mark.
Whoa.
Technically.
Whoa. I am just giving an example of if I was asked if I was cheating. No.
Wait a minute, Phil. Wait a minute. If we use that in the tagline, isn't that kind of ironic considering we would be doing the exact same thing as this picture?
100%. I am not using that in a tagline because I have integrity. I'm out here calling ESPN for doing garbage like that. And then I gave you an example of why what they're doing is garbage. Because I just lied to my wife in that scenario.
All right, cool. Tagline, lied to my wife. There you go. All right.
Is this lying to my wife? I swear we didn't sleep together. We did everything but.
Phil, you know what? This advertising thing is growing on me. We should do it.
You can do it. I have integrity. I will not sell these products.
All right, fine.
However, I will like what that little riff we just had. That's funny, and I feel like it gives great context, so it might be appropriate to drop. We'll see. I have to rewatch it and see how it goes. All right. with me cheating on my wife out the way, that is the mother of my unborn child, to be clear, so it never happened. Just crystal clear, Sarah. I love you. I'm sorry about this whole little bit. Anyways, let's move on. I have a list in alphabetical order of all the free agency moves that have happened so far. We will just kind of, if I deem it noteworthy, I'll bring it up. Otherwise, I'll just let you know. For example, the Cardinals, they did absolutely nothing that is worth that we care about. As of right now, they're playing for the right to get Caleb Williams and trade down next year. So
I think there's a chance. I mean, I wish I knew the specs of Murray's contract, but I just in my head I almost feel like there's a good chance that they move off Kyler next year.
Yeah, I agree. If they can get one of those guys, though, you know what I mean. It's got to be Caleb Williams or bust. I don't think they do it for whoever the number 2 is. I can't ever remember.
But, Phil, you cannot literally do nothing right now, and they are doing not a single thing.
You can do nothing because your quarterback is a torn ACL.
Fine. Don't give up on the season in March.
I disagree.
You have okay.
So all right, no. So listen, the only reason I say that is because next year, if you can get 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and DJ Moore for a quarterback class that I would say everyone is at best an A-, for Caleb Williams, you can get like 4 or 5 first-round picks. It sounds absurd, but he is like the fact that he's going to be coming in with the same hype as Trevor Lawrence. And even if you don't give him up and you want to give up Kyler Murray, you can probably still get 2 first-round picks for him and then bring in Caleb Williams. Like, there's just so much value to sucking next year. Atlanta Falcons is up next. They have actually made a few moves that are pretty noteworthy. So, running through the Falcon moves. They traded for Jonnu Smith. That's only noteworthy because they already have Kyle Pitts, and that's a mistake. But then they re-upped their several offensive linemen. They grabbed a couple defenders, which is pretty nice. I actually like the moves the Falcons have made to go from a crap team to like a crap team that's just not as soggy.
Dude, Arthur Smith is an idiot. I've been incredibly vocal. Don't care. Anything that he does now as a defensive coach, I don't care about. I don't even, where do they draft?
It's like 7 or 9. 8. Sorry, they draft 1 pick before.
Just trying to think of who falls to them. Do they take a chance at a quarterback because they're
so Will Levis, right, is the only thing they have a shot at, and in my opinion, you don't.
Probably Levis. I mean, but I think, what are you going to do? They're the Arizona Cardinals, except they got defensive players and Jonnu Smith. Cool.
In my opinion, this is you might not like this, but I think they're the only team that could do it. I think they wait till after the draft, and then they make a run at Lamar Jackson. So it's important that they wait till after the draft because then they give away next year's first-round pick instead of this year. They haven't spent too much money this year, and they have a lot of cap room, which means they might be able to construct a deal that Atlanta can't match or Baltimore can't match. And by that, I mean if Atlanta front loads a contract, the way bonuses work for Baltimore, they won't be able to match it. So I think Atlanta is actually setting themselves up very nicely to go draft non-quarterback, fill out the rest of their roster, have Kyle Pitts, have Drake London, bring in Lamar Jackson, who fits the style that they played last year.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly think that is a fantastic way to outsmart the Ravens, who right now seem to be winning the Lamar Jackson game of chicken.
I'm not even sure that's the case. I think they're just, like, stalling. Nobody wants to do the math and the payments. Nobody wants to get snuck under to have all of the details worked out and then have Baltimore just say, yeah, we'll do that.
Well, yeah, so a big problem is, like, when you give him that contract, Baltimore has 5 days to respond, and you know they're not going to respond in 2 or 3 days. They're going to eat up. They're going to put you in a cap lock for 5 days and screw you over from free agency.
That's what I'm saying. They're just going to match it, and that's why nobody's doing anything yet.
But if Atlanta writes a contract that they can't match because of the way their salary is structured, then and they're the only team that can do it because they have so much free cap space. They can be like, Lamar, $60 million year one. And
who's going to go there
Baltimore.
Then? Desmond Ritter is not good, so who's going to go there then?
Go where?
Atlanta. Desmond Ritter's not good.
I'm picking Lamar as like he's going.
You think it actually happens though?
Oh, if that doesn't happen,
yeah.
Then they're rolling into the season. I don't know the quarterbacks that are still available. I could see
Minshew's off the board now.
I mean, I could see a Desmond Ritter. I could see like a Carson Wentz. And I know it sounds so dumb, but like a Carson Wentz, like here's a 2-year, $10 million contract, and just something to get you by next year, while you tank. But again, it breaks my heart. Game. Yeah. Yeah, that's just it. All right, let's
Commanders
go on.
Tanking too.
Lamar Jackson is the only Raven of note. Not too much else going on here. I think they had a couple players leaving, but I am not interested in their situation. Let's see. Buffalo Bills. Good news for them is they re-signing is the big deal here. They kept Jordan Poyer and Matt Milano. All right, finally, another team to actually talk about, Carolina Panthers. Since we talked last, they traded up to number 1. They gave away 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and DJ Moore. That's right. So we'll get back to Connor. He had to reset real quick. I personally think the Panthers did this. The only moves that make sense. I know CJ Stroud is the rumored one, but Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson are the only two that make sense to me. CJ Stroud had one good football game where Bryce Young had a plethora of excellent throwing games. And then Anthony Richardson, like, the fact that people say he's better than Cam Newton is something special. So you do it for special. You trade up for special. So you trade up for Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson. In my opinion, based on the moves they made, which is not getting a receiver, which plays very little into Bryce Young's strengths, then that tells me they're going for Anthony Richardson and an Atlanta-esque offense where he's going to be highly mobile. That's at least my guess at the moment. They could go out and trade for, I don't think any good wide receivers are available.
That I would think should make, like, you right now, if you are serious about Young or Stroud, go get DeAndre Hopkins and go get Adam Thielen. Seriously. And you actually want to be competitive with a good defense, those would be the 2 moves I would do right now. DeAndre still wants to be the one. Thielen still, both of those guys are old. Fine. But DeAndre Hopkins can still produce. Like, produce. He produced, when he was in last year, he was a top 6 receiver, 5 receiver, multiple wide receiver 1 weeks. I mean, Thielen still has some juice, but fine. Those guys will, at a minimum, get open. You can guarantee DeAndre Hopkins can still beat anybody.
I think Adam Thielen is a good move if you get Bryce Young. I don't think Adam Thielen's a good move if you get Anthony Richardson.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you missed my point. Don't get Anthony Richardson. Get either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. I just think you have a roster that could win.
All right, so here's the question. When it comes to Young and Richardson. So as of right now, I think the rumored consensus is Young has the talent to be a top 5 quarterback at some point if he can stay healthy. Richardson has the tools to be a top 5 quarterback if he can learn to hit the side of a barn. Stroud has Jared Goff upside. You expect Goff.
I've heard two different things
about anything Carolina is how long, what's your win horizon? are you trying to win next year or the year after? I know they don't have a pick the following year, but it's like you can develop talent and play for the year after and, cap manipulate for that way. I just don't know if I go all in on a hodgepodge and hope my rookie quarterback hits. Like that's just where I am. I think next year you hope to be 8-9. And in the divisional race.
You play in one of the worst divisions in football. Actually, easily the worst division in football. So I don't know. That could help your argument and say Anthony Richardson could suck, and if you got a good defense, you can still win. Yeah, maybe. But the Saints have made a lot of moves, and the Bucks. I wouldn't say they made.
Oh no! We'll pause on the Bucks. We will get to the Bucks.
I wouldn't say that they made great moves, but they still have a talented roster. I mean,
so right now your pick at number 1. Who is it?
Stroud.
All right. On to the Chicago Bears then. The team that benefited from Carolina's stupidity. Real quick, grabbing DJ Moore was probably one of the best moves they could have done all offseason. They got the best the best wide receiver transaction thrown into a deal where they got 2 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders while having their quarterback of the future. I am super excited for that move by the Bears. However, the rest of what they did, I am disappointed in. They overpaid for parts of defense that I don't think you need. Tremaine Edmonds being the key. 4 years, $72 million there. And then everything else, it kind of just looks like they're piecing together stuff to stay afloat. You mentioned before the show they did bring in Donta Foreman, which is a move I do like. I think he will do a good Thunder and Lightning combo with Khalil Herbert. Give them the 3-4 yard carry guy with the burst from Herbert too. What are you thinking?
I mean, I think they've got B+. I mean, I don't know why you don't like Tremaine Edmonds. The dude's 24 and was a monster of a linebacker. Well, I don't know why you don't like him.
I like him, but it's like I think getting a run stop, like a guy in the middle of your defense, is one of the last pieces you put on. Priority to me would always be corners and defensive front. Just my opinion.
That's fair. I mean, I think a guy I used to work with when he worked for the Bucks said, ironically, like the pound for pound or dollar for dollar best places to go on a team are your after quarterback, are your left tackle, your defensive tackle, and your defensive end.
Yep.
So, in terms of value of above marginal value.
Yeah. That's why I don't like grabbing 2 linebackers for a combined $100 million ballpark.
He also had tight end up there actually too, which is most people don't. We're talking about like diva wide receivers. Like they're not diva wide receivers, maybe lockdown corners. Like they're second tier. Yeah,
I love a good tight end. Love a good tight end. It's just that they're hard to get. Like that's kind of like a unicorn. Anyways, the Bears, how are you feeling? You said you're liking their offseason.
Is I'm all in on Fields for fantasy. I am out on every other offensive weapon except for their running backs.
You just said you like their wide receivers. I like DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool. I like that group. I don't like it a lot, but I like it.
I like the group, fine, but I'm talking about fantasy here.
Oh, gotcha. Never mind.
I think, like I said, I think that Aaron Rodgers is likely gone, but he's just got to work out the details. The Lions are good. The Vikings are teetering. And, I mean, I think that you've got a young enough core that think you can win now. You just have to mesh. I just don't want to go out there because I Fields is a good passer. Can he ever be a great passer? I don't know. But just why would you not take Anthony Richardson? This is the exact reason why you would take Anthony Richardson. The guy had over 1,000 yards last year, second highest ever rushing for a quarterback, and he missed 3 games. Freak athlete. So, I don't know. The question is,
all right,
you will
right
have
now,
Anthony Richardson's question answered reactively after this year. That will look like a great pick with what Fields does, or not. Very, very immediately, 1 year from today.
I agree. If Anthony Richardson is Justin Fields that can throw better, then it's obvious you made a mistake. Anyways, on to the next team, Cincinnati Bengals. Not too much going on, keeping Jermaine Pratt. But the big move came in yesterday, I think. Orlando Brown is their new left tackle. I love this move. What do you think of it?
Yeah, by the way, timeout. Go back to Justin Fields. I wasn't done.
Clown. Oh, so I thought you were.
No, but what I was saying about Justin Fields was I think Justin Fields has a heck of an arm. I don't think he processes defenses as fast as he should in the NFL level. I don't think he reads. I don't think he does a lot of pre-reads. I don't think it connects fast enough. And I think he doesn't go through his progressions at an NFL level. He's late on a lot of throws. So if he can get that, and that's part of the comfortability of learning an offense and then also trusting your arm. He's got a heck of an arm. It's just the other things that why you would take a guy like Bryce Young, the ability to process, or CJ Stroud at elite pace. So, Anyways, Bengals, great move. Orlando Brown, I hate their offensive line. Their offensive line sucks. I think that they are missing an opportunity to go out and supposedly the best landing spot for Austin Eckler is the Bengals if he leaves. I don't think that happens. They let Samaje walk, but Mixon is a head case. And, what can you do? Seriously, what can you do? I think you got to go out and other thing, drop Mixon, get Bijan late first if he falls.
All right. I actually like that move a lot. But what I was going to say is I'm actually really excited for this move to bring in Orlando Brown. Because last year, right, they brought in 3 defensive linemen to fix the right side. Now, it got hurt. Everyone was like, they were down to 2 starters, maybe 1 starter in the championship game against the Chiefs. So throw out the fact that it got wrecked because you were playing backups. It was bound to happen. But Orlando Brown now gives them that left tackle and essentially revamps their whole offensive line. Moves Jonah Williams to left guard, which I think he's an upgrade at left guard, but not a good left tackle. So I think they are like C+ to B across the board, which isn't good, but I think with some cohesion, it actually could be a good a functioning offensive line. We'll get to why I don't like this move for the Chiefs when we get to them. But let's go. Cleveland Browns. I'm falling for it. I'm liking their moves. They have focused heavily on the defense. They let go of Jadeveon Clowney. They let go of John Johnson. They brought in Dalvin Tomlinson up front. I'm going to screw this up. Obo Okoronkwo. I'm sorry. He was a Texans defensive end. As well as Juan Thornhill. Great moves. They fixed the defensive line, which was the major part of their defense that sucked. It was Myles Garrett and a bunch of me and Connors out there getting thrown around. If they get some pressure,
a bunch of you and Noah's, Noah Rademacher.
Yeah, because you wouldn't get thrown around.
I'd hold my own.
Anyways, they now have Dalvin Tomlinson, a legit run stopper, a complimentary pass rusher, and then Obo is also another good a solid enough pass rusher where when you're facing one-on-ones because of Myles Garrett, he should be able to produce. I like the Browns. I hyped them up saying they were a good team to bet on for the Super Bowl. As long as Deshaun Watson can bounce back to remotely what he was, I actually think the Browns are a legit good team.
Got to go out and get Elijah Moore.
Honestly, dude, I feel so bad for him, and that would be the perfect fit for the Browns.
Got to go out and get Elijah Moore.
They need a volume receiver. Well, a slot guy in between the numbers. All right. Dallas Cowboys next. Let's just talk about, I think they made two big moves. One, Stephon Gilmore coming over via trade. Phenomenal move. Bolsters their number 2 corner position, which they have been dying for since Trevon Diggs made a name for himself. And then cutting of Zeke, probably the best move that should have been done years ago. Just eat the dead money and play your best player, which is Tony Pollard. Another team I hyped up in our Super Bowl preview weeks ago. Denver Broncos actually made legitimate moves. I'll let you go first, but here to summarize what they did. Revamped their O-line, got a pass rusher, and then puzzle pieces elsewhere. What are you thinking?
You can't do both, fine, but you could. KJ Hamler and Tim Patrick. Maybe he likes maybe Sean Payton likes both of those guys. I don't know. I think that if they're going to do that, they paid both of those guys. So, no, they paid Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton. They have yet to pay Judy. I don't know. I think Javonte comes back. Maybe. You hope.
They got Samaje Perine to fill in for him, which is a
They got Samaje for now.
I think
I don't know,
sucks.
man. I'm not sold on what Denver's doing. I mean, you like them because you like for football things, like their offensive line and defensive line and stuff. I'm like, why are you shopping the rest of these guys then? That doesn't make any sense.
I like it because it feels very Sean Payton to me. If you remember in New Orleans, Marquise Colston was their lead receiver. It was just like a big slot
he was
dude.
Good.
I mean, he was good, but he wasn't great. You know what I mean? He wasn't and behind him it was friends. You know, it wasn't too much going on. It was a lot of ground and pound, and then Sean Payton with creative play calling. But he needs a good O-line, and everyone talked about how they are up against the cap wall. And they somehow money managed and found a way to bring in and revamp their offensive line at a couple of positions. So that's why I like the moves, because it feels very Sean Payton. And if it all works out, I'm excited for that, because I believe in Sean Payton.
I do not agree with selling Judy and Sutton. I don't agree with that. I do
not agree. I think Judy should be the guy they keep. I can see them selling Sutton because he just doesn't fit the Sean Payton style. I don't think he likes 50-50 balls. I don't think he likes big athletes. He's like, my scheme's going to get you open, but you got to make it work. He likes his burners, so I think KJ Hamler is the guy he likes. And then Jerry Jeudy's a technician, and I just hope they keep him. I don't know. I hope they keep him.
Saw that they want a first-round pick for him. I think Bills may go after him.
Ooh, I would like that, but I don't know if I like that, because I don't know if Josh Allen feeds a slot like that. All right, going on to the Detroit Lions, another team I love the moves of. They brought in 2 starting cornerbacks. They grabbed a couple more defensive players on the defensive front. Not too much going on at the running back position besides they brought it, or on the offense besides bringing in David Montgomery. The other big move, underrated, is Jameson Williams, a top 12-ish pick, I think, last year. Or was he the end of the first round?
No, it was 10, 11, 12. Wilson. Yep. Olave, Jameson, all in a row.
So he comes back. That is a huge boost to their offense. I love these moves. I think it gives them the cornerback stability that they need, while not digging them into like tough contracts to get out of. So that gives them flexibility to draft someone or maybe give Okudah another year. What do you think?
They're going to give Okudah more. He's going to get more. He's definitely going to get more because he's a top 3 pick, but he's been up and down, so they wanted somebody else. Fine, whatever. I'm fine with that. But I don't understand the David Montgomery thing. Listen, I mean, you can bring in – I don't understand why you don't just – probably the one knock that I have on the Fighting Dan Campbell's is that Dan Campbell I don't think I think he's going to make DeAndre Swift a committee back, which is insane to me. You play your best player. You get rookies that you can come in. Like they've got a couple of other guys that they like. Craig Reynolds has been decent as a backup. Let DeAndre Swift go. He gets hurt, fine. The rest of that offense will be just fine. So yeah, I don't think you need a guy who's gonna just clog it up, in my opinion, as a he's all right kind of back.
Yeah, I in general we've made fun of David Montgomery for being 3.5 yards and falls down every time.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Like, I just don't get why you don't keep Jamal Williams, who legitimately looked like a good back, and you bring in David Montgomery.
So I'm shocked that Peyton didn't go after him. He wants a smash and dash. He wants Ingram and Kamara again, and I'm shocked that he didn't go out and get him.
I mean, the old Peyton did, and by that I mean the Saints. All right, let's go on. Houston Texans. They did the ultimate Band-Aid work to make their team to like meet the cap minimums. They've brought in like Robert Woods, Noah Brown, Mike Boone, Case Keenum, and then miscellaneous pieces on the defense: Chase Winovich, Jimmy Ward, Hassan Ridgeway.
Yeah, but they got a bunch of draft picks, don't they?
I mean, they do, right? They have 2 top 15 picks, one going to Bryce Young, in my opinion, because I think Anthony Richardson goes 1 overall.
Yeah.
So I just think that this team is like they're going to see what their quarterback is and reevaluate next year.
I don't know if Ryans will do that, but yeah, probably going to be Dan Campbell in his first year. Have some fun games, be competitive. I'm sneaky high on Robert Woods if he's paired with Bryce Young or Stroud.
I am very scared of Robert Woods, period. Like just
no, I mean
old receiver. No. I like even for fantasy, like old receiver. Torn ACL 2 years ago, didn't look great last year. And I know he's a slotty guy, but I think they want to use their younger guys and get them going with Bryce Young.
Okay, then I'm fine. I'm not on Robert Woods. I'm okay with taking dart throws for their wide receiver core if they get Bryce.
Oh, okay, so like whoever their number 1 is actually going to be valuable.
Yeah, but I also think that Robert Woods still has. I'm not like a guy that I'm not into the Allen Robinson. Okay, I'm giving up on Allen Robinson. So is everyone, but I'm not convinced Robert Woods is a bad receiver. I'm not convinced that Adam Thielen is done or DeAndre Hopkins. Those guys, I'm not convinced they're done. And how many times we talk about veterans and young wide receivers? I think that soul food. I think that they want them, and I think they want to throw them the ball. So I'm not 100% giving up that Robert Woods is going to be gone. Or Robert Woods is useless, I should say.
All right, let's go on. Indianapolis Colts. Big move here is they brought in our guy, Gardner Minshew.
He's going to be another backup. What do you mean?
Dude, he is going to start over Will Levis.
I would, but I also don't think that they're going to draft Will Levis to sit him.
Who are you at? Anthony Richardson falls to 4?
No, I'm just saying I think that they have this weird fascination. Okay, if he falls to 4, they're going to go get him because they got Minshew. But, I'm not, like I said, I'm not in on Levis. I'm not in on Richardson. Stroud is growing on me. I was always in on Bryce. I'm less concerned about his versatility because I think he has an overachieving brain. So I think he can get down and get out of the way. He has a propensity. He's not a reckless runner. So I'm okay with Bryce. If you take Bryce, I'm okay with Stroud. Stroud has impressed me as of late. I was not in on him, as you know, up until probably the Georgia game. and a lot of people are growing there as well. Haven't watched a ton of Levis. Watched some of Richardson. Was like, man, that guy's ginormous. Give him the ball, he will 40-yard pass, boom, hits him in stride, 40 yards. 10-yard pass, boom, throws it 40 yards. So, like, I don't know. That's the whole that's my spiel on the QBs. Actually, by the way, sneaky pick, and I'll hold off on that. I'll hold off on that one.
Is this? Will we cover it later for a different team or anything?
We'll cover it later.
All right. Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, you want to say something? Because I don't. Nothing of note here.
No, they just get Calvin Ridley back.
That's a huge move. Sorry, I think we mentioned that previously. But
Would you rather have? That's not a bad question. I'd rather have T-Law over Fields. People are probably going to say.
No one, dude. I am the Trevor Lawrence bus driver, dude. I have him as a top 5 quarterback already.
Yeah,
I'm not talking top 5 to win a football game next year. I'm talking top 5 franchise value.
I personally like. Yeah, I personally, like I said, I would if I had. The only thing holding me back from definitively saying it's Trevor Lawrence by a mile is because of the freakish nature of Justin Fields. But I think for winning the Super Bowl, I would 100% choose Trevor Lawrence. What are you laughing at?
My brother just put Goldilocks top 5. Putting that hair is unstoppable. Feathered and lethal. All right. Moving on. Next up, the Chiefs. I said we were going to talk about this. Jawan Taylor. This move drives me nuts. Jawan Taylor was a solid left tackle last year. Orlando Brown was he was maybe slightly below. They are paying Taylor 4 years, $80 million. Brown got 4 years, $64 million. Like, I personally think Brown is the better deal, and they let him go. I don't know if it was just like things got heated, things got uncomfortable because they had been talking contract for over a year and never could get anything done.
No, they just got tired of dealing with his agent, probably. That's probably what happened.
But then it cost you $16 million across like over 4 years. But
yeah, who cares? You just won the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody's going to be upset.
All right, nothing else to note there. The Las Vegas Raiders, lots going on here. Obviously, the big moves. Jimmy Garoppolo is now the quarterback of the Raiders. Congrats to your fantasy team. Much better situation than if he had gone to Carolina or wherever else the rumors were. Yep. They bring in Jacoby Myers, and they send off Darren Waller. When this happened, I immediately text like, dude, Hunter Renfro's got to be on his way out. Instead, they end up with Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers. It's a lot of the same to me as a wide receiver, and I know that's the position you watch. Do you agree?
It could work.
I'd rather have Darren Waller and a slot than 2 slots. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but but the route tree is similar for tight ends and slots. So I don't think you give up a whole lot by going with one or the other. The only thing that you give up, I would give the edge to having Waller because you have mismatch problems.
That's what I mean.
You'll nickel in a DB rather than have a box that has a tight end with a linebacker on a tight end. Now you've automatically nickeled in a DB. So, in terms of box, maybe his play is to say, hey, I want little guys in the box now, and I'm going to run the crap out of Josh Jacobs like I did last year, maybe. But it's just kind of a moot point. It's kind of a weird moves. Unless he thinks that one of those guys can split out a little bit better.
It's all Josh McDaniels burnt. What's it called? Burnt Earth policy. He's just ruining everything before he gets.
He's a weird guy. I heard. Yeah. I mean, there's rumors coming out that he is like not liked very well.
The rumor was that Darren Waller got traded because he didn't get invited to McDaniels didn't get invited to Waller's wedding. Like
I saw something like that. I didn't know how true it was.
I don't. That's one of those things that was clickbait. I didn't fall for the click, but you just got the title. What everything I preached against for the first 10 minutes of the show.
That's why you're upset. That's why
I fell for it. I was at Darren Waller's wedding expecting to meet Josh McDaniels, and it never happened.
That's why you're upset.
All right, Los Angeles Chargers, nothing of note. Los Angeles Rams, and Miami Dolphins are the next two teams we can cover out. Bang, bang, real quick. Jalen Ramsey is now on the Dolphins. Absolutely love this move. The fact they only had to give up a third-round pick for one of the best corners. Now they have Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey. I think that's the best cornerback duo.
Yeah, but I sit by a guy who's a lifelong Dolphins fan, and he's just been like, Greer just does this kind of thing. He like tries to find discounts on people or people that are supposedly like washed up, but he thinks they have life left in them. Like, I think the trade value was a slam dunk, but in terms of like who you get, like Ramsey is good. I don't know how great he ever was, in my opinion, but.
So I think him opposite Xavier Howard, and also in a zone-heavy scheme, I don't think he's a great travel corner. I think he's not a great travel corner.
I
think he's a good one, but not a great one. But like, dude, they can just sit in zone.
Yeah, he's a good zone guy.
But now you put him and Howard on opposite sides.
Yeah, but he's like Trayvon Diggs. He's Trayvon Diggs light. He's a less aggressive version of Trayvon Diggs.
But he's a better cover corner, because don't you ever think that Trayvon Diggs can cover anyone. Anyways, other moves they made. They repaid their entire running back room. Jeff Wilson, stupid. Raheem Mostert, like Salvin Ahmed, Myles Gaskin. Literally everyone's coming back.
Seriously, you know what you should have done? Cut both of those guys and go get Deontay Foreman, and they didn't do that. Yeah, Deontay Foreman was cheap.
Dude, I'm with you.
Miles Sanders.
I also think Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert don't complement each other well. Like Jeff Wilson, Donta Foreman complement each other well. Raheem Mostert, Donta Foreman do. But these guys, they do the same thing. Explosive speed, or like one cut style backs, but I don't know. I don't like that. I am excited for Miami. I think right now they are an underrated team to win their division. I think they're at plus 700, which is absurd to me, because they're behind the Jets. Come on, the Jets. Ugh. All right, Minnesota Vikings up next. Kind of pieced together a defense a little bit. That's nice. I appreciate trying to give Brian Flores some help. Other than that, not too much going on here. Besides the rumor of Dalvin Cook on the trade block, just like every other running back, because no one's happy with the second running back contract. Surprise,
That's
surprise.
what I'm saying. You want to go pay an old running back? Go get Dalvin Cook. For the Dolphins. I don't know. Anyways.
New England Patriots, they brought in Juju Smith-Schuster to replace
Jacoby Myers, but on TikTok. So I think they're still going to go out and get another wide receiver. They're bringing someone else. They were having somebody else come visit today. I can't remember. Probably going to draft one too again, because they suck at drafting wide receivers. Tyquan Thornton, yeah, he's useless.
Devontae Parker, whatever they touch at wide receiver, it's just like, here, you
dumb.
Yeah, you're screwed. All right, New Orleans Saints, big moves actually, in my opinion. They kept Jameis, which I'm surprised at. I thought maybe someone else might be gambling on a year of Jameis. Brought in Derek Carr, obviously. I skipped over that because it was old news. Michael Thomas is back on a 1-year deal. That's huge. That's you need to play well. And then they revamped their defensive front, bringing in a couple D tackles. I like the moves a lot. I think it makes them the favorite. Got a message from my brother, big average, meaningless moves. And he is absolutely right. However, in the NFC South, that's valuable. All right, so as a man who believes in Derek Carr and thinks he is now like a top 3 quarterback in the NFC, Andy Dalton, according to PFF, was like a top 10 quarterback last year. So listen, I know I am not saying Andy Dalton is a top 10 quarterback, and Derek Carr is an upgrade. However, the level that Andy Dalton played at is something that you can get from Derek Carr. So I don't know if like Derek Carr is that much of an upgrade out of the production that Dalton had last year. His floor is better, and he's not going to throw the 2-pick game in Arizona to blow it in the final 2 minutes of the first half. But I'm just saying Dalton actually played well. And when you look, are you saying Derek Carr is a huge upgrade? I'm saying not to the level that Dalton played last year, but in general, he's worth it.
Andy Dalton had some pretty good years, like even a couple all-pro years with the Bengals. Hasn't done anything like that since. And I'm more convinced that Derek Carr is fresh out of his prime, may not be in his prime, maybe still in it, kind of on the back end. I'll 100% take that. He offers you more than Andy Dalton. He's more athletic. He's got a better arm. He's quote-unquote in his prime. He's 31. And I think that you need guys like – I think he will get the most out of Olave and Thomas. So, And, Jamal Williams, which is kind of an interesting signing for them. I think that's fine.
It's the Mark Ingram compliment to Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
All right. And now let's roast a team hard. The New York Football Giants. Opening the bag up for Daniel Jones.
Franchise tagging. This is where I would say that's the other thing. Both him and the Saints, both the Giants and the Saints have outs after year 2. Big outs. Talking like front load the deals. If they suck, they're out after 2 years.
The problem is, we have talked, at least I know I am 110% in on Brian Dable. I know you are in on him. I don't know if you are in on him as I am, though. That's what I'm saying. After 2 years, you say, okay, we can get rid of Jones. That means in that third year, whatever you do, Dable has to make it work or he's fired. Because we know this isn't going to end well. I know Daniel Jones is not going to be the quarterback for the New York Football Giants 3 years from now. Book it. Saquon Barkley will not be their running back next year because he's going to play off the franchise tag and they're not going to want to pay him the next year one, which is absurdly higher. So I'm telling you right now, you're putting your coach in a pickle 3 years from now. And you're going to watch a below average to bad football team year after year because Daniel Jones is not that guy.
Fine, but you went out and got Darren Waller. They'll be formidable.
They were formidable this year. Ask the Eagles how nice it was to have 2 bye weeks in the playoffs.
Yeah, I just in my head, in my head, I feel like Dable will win more games that he'll earn himself a 4th year from now, a 3rd year from now. I don't think he and the GM structured this deal that they know that they have an out in 2 years and all he has to do is win the similar amount of games as last year and he'll get a chance with somebody else.
As long as it doesn't cost you the coach I love, I'm cool with it. All right, next up, New York Football Jets. Aaron Rodgers is coming to town. They bring in Alan Lazard. Rumors are they're going after Randall Cobb and Mercedes Lewis. I sent this analogy to my family group chat. I said, dude, this is like me going up to the Y to hoop and being like, dude, I'm about to bring my boys up here. We're going to run this court. And then 4 of my brothers or cousins come up to ball with me and they haven't touched basketballs in years. And that's what it feels like. It's not intimidating. It's like, dude, I'm showing up with my guys and there's nothing there.
Well, Elijah Moore, like somebody PFF posted a picture of like the Jets offense now, and Elijah Moore was tagged in it, and he quoted it and commented underneath and said, "I'm requesting a trade." Himself. He's not going to be there. So,
he requested a trade because like 5 receivers were on that list, that wish list, and Garrett Wilson's the one. He's the only one staying, which is a hard.
I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't know why Elijah Moore was like our biggest whiff this year from wide receiver production, and it wasn't his fault. It was a million times not his fault. I was a huge Elijah Moore guy.
When they fed him, he was good. Like it's one of those things where it's like
Browns
Dude,
Browns have to go get him.
Dude, all right. If the Browns get him, would you still hate my take that Deshaun Watson will be ahead of Jalen Hurts in the MVP race 9 weeks in?
It'd be more likely that it'd be even, but
it's not, you're on board. I love it.
Remember, though, we just talked about all the crap that happened with the Eagles. That was all on the defensive side. And you've got expendable. What you lost was Miles Sanders. Expendable.
All right,
everything else is going to be the same.
Speaking of the Eagles, what they bring back right now, they scoop up Rashad Penny to replace Miles Sanders on probably the best running back deal I've ever seen. 1 year, $1 million for a home run hitting running back until he, sprains his ankle.
He'll be done week 7.
3 carries in, defensively, they re-up Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and we said we were worried about James Bradbury and Darius Slay. They can't keep them both. Good news, they found a way to keep them both.
They lost Johnson, though. They'll lose Johnson, Johnson.
I prefer keeping the outside corners, personally. So I am actually excited for what they did hanging on to these guys. Question in the chat. No one has Zeke yet. I don't think he goes anywhere. But let's go on. How do you feel about the Eagles' current situation?
I mean, weak division. What are you going to do? They'll make the playoffs next year.
They are still the number 2 favorite to me behind the 49ers, right? It's hard for either of them to not be the favorite, the top 2.
Lose 2 coordinators, still fine. I mean, hard to have stability. You keep those guys, grand, but, San Francisco has to worry about this too. San Francisco lost their defensive coordinator. Like, they're stalwart. Like, they're
stalwart, just like Robert Saleh was and didn't matter.
Fine, whatever.
All right.
Build from the ground up.
All right, so you're still saying this division is the Eagles, still a 10-11 win team.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll be fine because of purely their offensive talent alone.
All right, Pittsburgh Steelers, nothing notable. Like
big surprise.
Patrick Peterson was their big play. Come on. All right.
Ooh.
All right, San Francisco 49ers. 2 moves that are actually big. Javon Hargrave. Like, this team keeps going out and just making their defense better, and I respect it. Big run stopper. That was their flaw last year. That was the only flaw they had last year. This will help a lot. But then the funny move. Sam Darnold is the guy they got.
Dude,
so listen, he might play a good amount, which is actually a worry.
I don't think so.
All right,
I don't believe that at all.
So right,
what are they doing with Trey Lance? Phil, what are they doing with Trey Lance?
No. My point is Trey Lance might get hurt again. I am not trusting Trey Lance to come back and be like, I'm healthy. Here we go. He played a game and a snap last year, or 2 games and a snap. So that's why I'm worried that Sam Darnold is their guy until maybe he has to play 4 or 5 games going into November until Purdy comes back.
Yeah, but you remember guys like we've talked about plenty. I'm smarter than you. I want to be smarter than you. I want to show you I'm smarter than you. Can't remember the other coach, but Shanahan is like that. Maybe it's a hope. Maybe it's recency bias. I think that he has the cojones to start Purdy if he's healthy next year and trade Lance. That's my I think he'll move him. Think about it right now. This is pipe dream for me. Pipe dream. They brought in Darnold. They sell Trey Lance to Atlanta. And they start Purdy. Darnold was brought in almost exclusively to bridge the bridge. And then the bridge to Brock Purdy. Yeah.
So your hot
Everyone
take right now
wins.
is Lance is a Falcon.
I would love that, by the way.
Let me think.
Hot take.
I like it. I like
Better
it a
tag
lot.
me.
The only problem is Lamar Jackson's going to Atlanta, according to me.
I don't think
I already booked their quarterback, but no.
But think about it.
What's the draft? What's the compensation going back to San Fran? That's my question.
What does San Francisco do? San Francisco gets back into the first at 107. You've already done all kinds of other stuff there. I'm serious. I've thought about this for a while now. I think
my only problem with your take is Caleb Williams exists next year, and if you're telling me I would rather try to tank for him than bet on Trey Lance.
Yeah, I weak division, crappy division. Arthur Smith was 500 last year, looked awful as an offensive coordinator, didn't have his guy wanting to run it. I think it's a possibility.
I do like it. That's spicy. That's spicy like my Lamar take, but I like it. Seems like Atlanta's the fun team to play with in terms of they have so many resources. I hope they do something. I mean, besides they were in the Watson sweepstakes is what always makes me mad.
Yeah.
Because they were in on the shady quarterback sweepstakes, and now they're not getting in on any of the shady quarterbacks again.
They're in somewhere. You know that.
Seattle Seahawks beefed up their D-line, and congratulations to Geno Smith on his big contract extension. I still don't buy it.
They'll be the same team as next year. Same one.
Yep. All right.
That's it.
All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We alluded to this earlier. Baker Mayfield's their starting quarterback. I don't think it's going to end well.
They are teetering.
I don't know.
Again, though, weak division. Lots of talent.
I've always said they have the talent where it matters most. They have receivers and they have DBs. The problem is, I like Todd Bowles. He is not a head coach.
Yeah, he's a good defense coordinator.
Yeah, he doesn't scheme right or something. It just does. When you watch their team play, they don't live up to what they should be.
Can't seem to figure out how to, let somebody else do the offensive play calling or make coaches' decisions. Just a yes sir, no sir kind of guy will get it done on defense. Yeah, I don't know.
Tennessee Titans have accepted their fate. They're in the tank.
Titans, that's where I'm telling you, man. Titans are sneaky here. Who was I thinking? I was hoping that they would cut Henry or trade him and pull in Deontay Foreman again, bring him back. That was a hot take, but I could see them. I was shocked that they didn't make a play for Jameis or something. I don't know. I think they're bridging too. I think that they are trying to get to the next draft. I think that they're not in on Malik. I think if you can't beat out Josh Dobbs, yeah, you're definitely not in on you, buddy. Sorry.
Dude, after watching Malik, I was high on him. Well, I wasn't high on him, but I had hopes for him. That was bad last year. That was really bad last year.
What he
did against the Chiefs was impressive for the first 8
Stop
plays.
it.
No. No. His first 8 throws were legit good. Like they were down the sideline in it, like great throws. After those first 8, he fell off a cliff, and it was what we saw every other snap, where confusion, missed timing, missed accuracy, and unless he's running, it wasn't good.
Yeah. Cue up Anthony Richardson questions.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, Washington Commanders, team I love. They go out, they buy themselves some beef brisket, and they go into the season with Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett. I actually like that at quarterback because I think
another one. Bridging to Drake May, Caleb Williams.
There's like 5 teams bridging to 2 quarterbacks next year.
Oh yeah, that was my Titans take. Hendon Hooker, the Tennessee.
I like that. I like Hendon Hooker.
Supposedly, they're very, very seriously going to draft him.
That's a good one. That's a guy. The torn ACL definitely held him back, but he had played up to.
He's old though. He's 24, 25 even.
Yeah, that's a Mike Vrabel guy though. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Anyways, the Commanders. I like Sam Howell. I like that he's getting his opportunity. What he showed against the Cowboys made me.
They brought in Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, no, but no one goes like, "Yeah, I'm gonna bring Jacoby Brissett, and he's gonna be my guy the whole year." Anyway, Sam Howell will have an opportunity to start at some point this year, I believe. We'll see him for 3 or 4 games minimum. I'm excited to see what he can do. He showed some life. Wasn't great, but he showed some life. Now, here's the problem, and I want to get your take because I think the Commanders have the best defensive front in the NFL, and they just shot themselves in the foot big time. They have Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, I think, and then Chase Young. Those 4. Now, Deron Payne is the highest paid of the 4, and he is by far the worst. Not close. That's how good they are. But Jonathan Allen's going to want a salary raise. Montez Sweat is due for his 5th-year option next year, so they have to decide soon. And 2 years from now, it is Chase Young's turn. Like, these guys are in a pickle with having to pay them, and they paid the worst one. If you were them,
it's just timing. It's like quarterbacks.
Yeah, but I think it's you should have let Deron Payne walk, and you should have kept everyone else. I know Chase Young's been out, but it's like,
yeah, but he's a freak. So
yeah, that's what I mean. That like, that's the guy you want to keep. That's the guy that flips your defense. What's your take? Like, what's your opinion on just the way these salaries are falling right now? And now they have to make a decision between Sweat and Young compared to what they had.
Yeah, I mean, I was always a team guy, so I never understood how people could just be like, all right, I'm going to go get like $20 million more than the $20 million that I'm already getting. Like after a certain point, like money didn't matter, like to me personally, but I've never been in that situation. I don't know what 30 million looks like versus 40. So hard for me to understand, like, why can't you all just talk to each other and say, hey, let's build something? Totally pipe dream. I get it. Another one. It's Connor, the NFL.
Once we blow up, I'm going to let you know I'm paying you like a quarter of whatever I make.
Fine. Whatever. You're right. Thanks for the microphone, by the way. Thanks. I don't know. I think I haven't seen much of like Sweat play. I watched a lot of Chase Young, but highest paid, if you think about it, you can get one of those 2 defensive ends. You could probably get both of those interior guys. You're going to lose one of the D ends, and you might as well get Chase. That's my opinion. You can get 3 out of 4.
I agree. You can't keep all 4. Keep 3. I'm excited for this team because next year they will have all 4 regardless, which is it's exciting, and I think they could be another sleeper team to come out of nowhere, actually make noise if they can find a functioning quarterback. Man, that's just been their problem forever. Also, get rid of Riverboat Ron. At some point, you become an NFL dinosaur.
Yucky.
I guess that is the worst managed organization in the NFL, though. So it is what it is. All right. That's all I got. You got anything?
Can't sell to Jeff Bezos. Not allowed.
Dude, I can't wait for everyone's worried about these $300 million contracts. Jeff Bezos is going to own a team and be like, dude, why can't I guarantee like my full team's, my whole
like
team's
Cuban.
thing?
He's going to be like Mark Cuban a little bit.
Dude, Mark Cuban isn't close to the richest NBA owner, though.
He's not?
Steve Ballmer, dude.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I don't even know the other ones, but I just know a hedge fund owns something. Oh, no. The Cleveland Browns own the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Haslams own the Bucks?
Haslam's bought the Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Browns. Book it.
I didn't know that. I know they own the Crew.
They bought him like a month or two ago.
I know they own the Crew too, so.
Dude, when those people just, I don't get why they're so rich. But then again, I also don't like to advertise clickbait items. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, whatever. We'll see. Let's see if we can get some hits. Otherwise, you're going to put clickbait in there. I guarantee it.
No, I'm going to hire someone to make the videos and edit them so they put the clickbait in.
Yeah.
All right, Connor, I've eaten enough of your time. Thank you for coming. And thank you guys for listening. Let us know your takes on all these free agency moves. Go Browns. I think that's the only conclusion that Connor and I agreed on the whole show.
Go Bengals. See you later. And Elijah Moore, go to the Browns.